Hello, everybody. Welcome to another massive late fee audio commentary. Today, we look at a masterpiece, in my opinion, of the guys behind South Park, Matt Parker and Matt Stone and Trey Parker, Basketball. Mike, you and I have both seen this movie before, and I think this is one of those movies that we, sort of, I don't know, maybe cemented our friendship might be a little too harsh or too grandiose of a term, I guess. But this was definitely a movie I think you and I kind of bonded over.
Oh yeah, for sure. And our good friend Ben Cole is a huge fan of the movie as well. Shout out to Ben.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, shout out to Ben. Fucker left us for Las Vegas. I love this opening. With Reggie Jackson and the 3 home runs in the World Series in '77, the same year that the Son of Sam happened.
That kid kind of looks like Trey Parker, which is always fun. When they find like someone who kind of looks like the kid.
Mm-hmm. Now I know that David Zucker, who co-wrote this movie with them, and he directed it. One of the Zucker brothers, responsible for like Airplane and movies like that. Apparently, he actually played this game, basketball. He and his friends invented it when they were kids, way back in 1982, because they were bored from playing regular basketball.
Or they were kids in '82.
I'm sorry.
You said they invented when they were kids in '82.
Oh no, they wouldn't. They must have been adults when they. That's funny that they were just like drunk adults when they invented it.
I mean, that's kind of how it's invented in the movie too, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. But
I hate the Yankees so much.
I know. Yeah, I've had a hatred for the Yankees. As Tigers fans, as many longtime listeners know, we're in Michigan, and as Tiger fans, we do not like the Yankees.
I mean, honestly, I think any red-blooded American automatically hates the Yankees unless you're from New York.
True.
And then some of them like the Mets. Why? I don't know.
Right. This whole choreography, dancing bit and everything, I know it's exaggerated, but it's not super far from how things started to go before the NFL put a lot of the celebration penalties in.
No, really, it's as bad, if not more, than it is depicted in this movie now. Recently, when they have like they have like almost like they're like doing like a formation and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's really like ridiculous lately.
Yep. Oh yeah, I agree. And all the stuff with the naming rights and the free agency and all that stuff. People going to the highest bidder. It is sports has definitely become like that, and this branching out into other things. It's. I know this is a silly movie, but it makes a decent point about how sports can get corrupted by the business aspect of it.
Yeah, it's funny because this is far out of date for the Oakland Raiders because they moved back to LA again and then back to Oakland again since this movie came out.
Yeah, now they're moving to Las Vegas next year.
Yeah, that's a good place for them.
Las Vegas is going to have a hockey team and a football team, and I don't think it will be long before they have a baseball team either.
I mean, why not? It's not like people don't gamble online from anywhere in the country or world as it is.
Yeah, and there was a Supreme Court's decision that legalized sports betting nationwide, and I don't know exactly when that takes effect. We're not a legal podcast, so I haven't done all the reading on it, but I know that that's a big issue now, and so it kind of, like you said, people are already doing it online all the time. So I think the issues that they used to have with, people, the worries about gambling and the mob and stuff, those are pretty much done now.
I mean, yeah, even when the mob did influence, sports events, it was in like Boston or that sort of thing. Like in
Hmm.
the movie Goodfellas, there's a very brief scene where they, I'm sorry, this is a pretty funny part. I don't want to miss it, Rick.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Just oblivious to the dad stating there.
And this, your wife and I, my cousin, and you and I too. I say this line all the time when this line that's coming up here when someone asks me, what am I doing or what have I been up to? The line that's coming up I use all the time. Not much, just hanging out, playing Nintendo.
Like how they just bring their own beer. Look how high Robert Stack's build.
Yeah,
In the movie for like 5 seconds.
yeah, and it's not like he was an enormous star at this point. Ernest Borgnine gets the coveted with credit.
I mean, he's for sure the biggest star in the. Well, is it Robert Vaughn's the bad guy, isn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Ted told us about it. He looks so pissed or so ashamed. Yeah, he knows he's gonna get an earful.
I go there for 5 minutes. Like, yeah, this sucks.
Seriously, I understand that they went to school with these people, but it does not really seem to be their kind of people.
No, they brought their own beer to this party, and it's like, they're serving wine and this sort of thing.
Well, Coop, didn't want to go to the party. He, his friend dragged him along because he wanted to fuck her.
Yeah, that's true.
Ugh, that's so gross.
He's just like in a trance. What's funny is you can tell he when he hears that he stops immediately. So clearly he knew she was there. He's just trying to get as many licks in as he could.
Oh my god.
I don't want to forget what I was saying earlier, but in the movie Goodfellas, there's a brief scene where you see them like they're watching like a basketball game. That's a reference to like the Henry Hill, like whatever organization he was part of. I don't remember what it was in real life. They actually did like help like fix like games, and I think it was like one of the I don't know if it was Boston College. I think that might be what it was.
Yeah.
But they did like pay the refs off, and so that's actually I don't know if it's supposed to be expanded or not, but that's like a deliberate reference to that whole point fixing thing. Which I mean, yeah, it's the mafia, but it's not in Las Vegas. I mean, I don't think the mafia's ever needed to be connected physically to Las Vegas to influence things.
No, I agree for sure. And obviously that's less of an issue now because, especially in Las Vegas, because there's hardly any mob presence left in Las Vegas, especially owning casinos. They're all owned by, giant corporations now.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, maybe some of the smaller. I don't even know if the mob exists in Las Vegas anymore.
I mean, I think they're around still a little bit, but it's not nearly what it was. I mean, the mob in general is not nearly what it was because everything's gone. It's crime and stuff is all gone cyber crime and stuff like that. It's not. In a weird way, the world's kind of passed the mob by in the way they've done their criminal activities.
Yeah, obviously, you have like the Russians and other organizations like that, but.
Right, yeah.
We're more into the cybercrime. And so, yeah, let's not get off on a tangent any more than we already have because I go on about that for days. But I like how these guys are just able to slam dunk the basketball.
Right. They're so athletic.
And they make a reference to the streets and like their girlfriend's like, oh, they're from the streets. They actually look like.
They look like they came out of the streets of a Land's End catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally, Zucker wasn't even going to make this into a movie. He was going to turn it into a game show.
Huh. See, this would definitely be an interesting sport. I mean, to see some people who are really good at shooting would definitely be, interesting to watch.
Yeah, and I think that would be an interesting game show. Like, like at the time, like MTV had that Rock and Jock sports thing, and it was going to be like kind of paired with that, like. It was going to follow that in the lineup as a, hey, this is like kind of a sports themed game show thing. And Chris Rock was going to host it.
Oh, no, that's funny. Well, what's interesting to me about that, too, is that basketball, I mean, obviously every sport has an obvious, inherent advantage, like physically speaking.
Hmm.
Like obviously, like someone like Shaquille O'Neal's going to be good at basketball. Regardless of whether he can shoot, which he clearly can't. From a distance.
Right.
So this kind of negates that. But I mean, obviously, you could say that being able to shoot well is also like an inherent talent people may have, but it does negate some of the physical aspects, which are a lot of them are affected by just like how tall you happen to be or how strong you happen to be, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I love how they're just making up rules on the fly
they're
too.
making up as they go along.
Don't play, asshole. It's so great. And it's just to win this, just to basically not get humiliated by these guys.
Pretty much.
But, I mean, I think all of us have, had a group of friends or whatever that, you get to drinking and invent some weird game.
Oh, they're still being consoled.
They're like Archie in that Archie versus the Predator comic. They were victorious just like Dilton, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, they had the moral high ground, though. What's funny is that, I don't know if you noticed, but they have lawn chairs on top of the garage. Like, I don't know if you ever watched the show Workaholics, that like clearly predates that by a long stretch.
Oh yeah, I've never actually seen Workaholics, but I've heard of it.
I like parts of it, but I don't know, the whole series as a whole is not amazing.
I saw the movie that they made, Game Over Man, on Netflix.
Yeah, that was not good.
Oh, I thought it was one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. We completely neglected the entrance of I don't know the guy's name in real life.
Kenny. I don't know his name in real life.
Yeah, he's a Trey Parker, Matt Stone regular. I think he was one of their friends in college. He's in this, and he's also what's his name?
In Orgasmo, right?
Shoulder Boy in Orgasmo. Yeah. And he's also in South Park. He plays Chris, the Devil's boyfriend.
Oh, he does? I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you listen to his voice and then think about Chris, you'll realize immediately that that's him.
Chris. Yeah, I'll have to. I will have to go back and Squeak. My name's not Squeak. It's Kenny.
Did this come out right before or right after South Park? Wasn't it like right after?
Well, this came out in 98, and South Park came out in 96, I believe, right?
Oh, okay. See, I thought they were just kind of like attached to it, and because like they were kind of friends with the Zucker guy. So I heard conflicted things. I've heard that they didn't have anything to do with writing it. They just like were friends with the Zucker guy, and like, okay, we'll be in it. But I don't know how much they had to actually put into writing.
It's definitely, if you watch like the Book of Mormon or Cannibal, A Love Story, or Orgasmo, you can see there's a little bit of their humor in here, but there's a lot more of Zucker's humor in here for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Zucker like type things in general. I know it's almost blasphemy, but like Airplane doesn't really do much for me. Or some of the Naked Guns are kind of funny. Of course, the best part about the Naked Gun movies is that O.J. Simpson's in them.
Right.
But yeah, you for sure you could see their their humor style is in this, like the Steve Perry comment. That's pure something sounds like they would say.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Yeah, I'm sure they had. They might not have had as big of a hand in writing it because, like I said, it's clearly much more Zucker's than it is them. But I'm sure they, at least on set with ad libs and stuff, they had they had something to do with it.
I love the character of where he's like they just like completely rip on him the whole time. He just like continues to hang around.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite characters in the movie.
I like how they just said I just caught that he's paying 1/12 of everything. That's such a weird amount.
Well, there's 12 people that live there.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I guess
it's very subtle, but like at the beginning, you can see there's like 3 or 4 people sitting on the porch, like talking and stuff while they're doing stuff. They're just like crammed into this house with 12 people, and we just never see them. This scene's always kind of got me too, because at least from a direct, if I can get a little geeky for a second, from a director point of view, because the camera makes just like a slight movement as we move into the room, and you can tell that this is a handheld camera because it's not completely steady, and when we go to the reverse shot, it's obviously like a lockdown camera, but they wanted, much more like range of movement. Like this is, like it's on a dolly and handheld and everything. But it's always like, I don't know, it's kind of an artistic shot, but it's always struck me as a little weird. But punctuated by that joke. I'm on the team.
I know it just like grows like, exponentially over the time. And now they have like uniforms that just say shirts. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's still better than, just having like their regular street clothes and they have an audience cheering them on.
Yeah, the entire neighborhood gets behind this game. How do you miss that, by the way? Like,
I don't know.
How shitty.
I like how part of the strategy for the game is that you have to miss, and then 2 other people also have to miss, and then you have to tip it in to win the game.
Yeah. I mean, that is a hell of a... And here's the thing, too. He gets so high, so close to dunking. I wonder if they would have had a chance against those guys if they just played regularly. They got Kato Kalin to announce their basketball championship. Oh, yeah. I know that David Zucker had a development deal with Universal, who obviously produced and distributed the movie, but he was going to make a Davy Crockett movie, The Life of Davy Crockett.
Huh.
Oh, here comes Ernest Borgnine. Yeah, and that whole thing fell through. So in like desperation, he kind of took the game show idea and made it into a movie.
I'm kind of surprised that like Davy Crockett just sort of like disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, like you don't really see, much talk of Davy Crockett or anymore, anything like that. Did Billy Bob Thornton play him in the movie The Alamo? I didn't see it, but I thought he played him or Daniel Boone.
I think... Ooh, that is a tough one. Did he play... I know he played one of them.
Why is there a bird outside? Is that his roommate right there?
Yeah.
It probably is, huh?
Yep. I love this guy. I love this guy too that just thinks that like he sees this and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna turn this into a huge major sport."
Right, but
what'd you say?
I'm sorry, I was listening to the part where players are like indentured
servants. Yeah,
it's kind of funny because he really does sort of want there to be like like it actually benefits him because. In real life, free agency definitely benefits players. I mean, if you didn't have free agency and that sort of thing, and guaranteed contracts, and you could treat them like shit more than,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when Curt Flood challenged the reserve clause in baseball, oh no, there goes some rent. But when he challenged the reserve clause in baseball, his closest legal precedent was the indentured servitude.
All right. I would be neglectful if I didn't mention the appearance of Real Big Fish right here.
Oh yeah, back in the 90s, for all you younger kids, ska music was huge.
I actually like the song a lot. The song's called Beer by them. I'm surprised it wasn't like ever released as a single. It's a really good song.
Yep. Yeah, you got into some ska music back in the day.
Not really. I mean, I like a couple songs. I never really got super into it. But like maybe like in an ironic fashion, I just think it's kind of funny how like people like, how like people like think there's like it was this and like electronic music were like the 2 like next best things.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I like how his nickname is Little Bitch.
Yeah,
and Reamer's a Sir Swish. I never noticed that before.
He can't get away from that little bitch.
The All Sport endorsement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and there's like 7 people on the team that they never like. Acknowledge outside of the 3 main characters.
Yeah. I kind of love that too, actually. That those players never do anything. They actually make reference to it later. They make a joke out of it in the championship. Like
Jenny McCarthy with her. This is weird. Was this one of her first acting roles?
Well, I think it was definitely one of her first movies. I know she was on Singled Out on MTV.
Yeah, I think that might have preceded this. Okay, they both got Bob Costas and Al Michaels. This might be one of their first like movie roles as well.
Yeah, yeah, they don't do a whole lot of acting, and they don't do a whole lot of announcing together anymore either. Really, outside of well, I don't even think they do anymore, but because
Yeah,
Joe Buck I think does the World Series now.
yeah. Unfortunately, he does.
Yeah,
Is Al Michaels even do announcing anymore?
he might be retired. I think he does every once in a while. I think he comes back and does something. Carrying that. Oh, it all comes down to Squeak Solari.
This is definitely a Zucker type thing where they're just clearly, narrating what's happening as the person who hears it.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Oh, God. But yeah, South Park came out in '97. This came out in '98, and yeah, I think they were late ads to the movie. I mean, not super late because obviously they star in it, but yeah, I think the movie was. I think you're right about them not having an enormous hand in writing it because, they came in sort of late. These cheerleaders. The Zuckers love putting a little sex appeal into every movie they make.
Just why? Why would he? I don't understand the concept of a training. I mean, obviously it's a reference to a training bat with a donut on it, but it literally makes no sense.
Honestly though, this idea for a game, I'm surprised that that maybe because obviously if you look at it, there's a lot of equipment and stuff involved as far as like the bases. It's it's a little bit complicated and stuff. It's not like you could just easily go into your local park and drop these things down and everything.
Yeah. I mean, you could mark off the spots though. I mean, that wouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that this never became more popular. It really does seem like a fun like an interesting game.
Yeah, I like how the referees on roller skates. That just makes no sense.
So they can get around easier and increase their risk of injury by 100%.
Yeah, the 25 feet worth of field they have to cover.
And it's so funny too because they make the auditorium basically look like a backyard garage.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a psych out or if he was just trying to give him a friendly warning.
Right? He didn't look like he was being malicious.
No, but afterwards he definitely is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, now he's like, "Oh, I got you."
Yeah, I think that's just cover though. I think he was really like, "Oh my God, hey, what's happening over there?"
Yeah, he was afraid of exposing himself emotionally.
Oh, doesn't ignite.
I like how no one else has noticed that Denzel's like, dying over there.
Seriously. They make that. It's
The
another
slow motion egg toss.
right, like it's a Vietnam movie. That's definitely a Zucker thing.
I like how that hot dog just flies perfectly in and out of the mouth.
It's pretty bad CGI.
Yes. So why they stopped serving hot dogs after the seventh inning?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense either.
I think it's a beer, but I like too how the main characters are both kind of dumb. They reference that multiple times throughout the movie.
Hey, that's oh, I can't think of that guy's name. I never noticed there was just a naked guy swinging on
Yeah.
on a rope in the background.
There's actually I don't think he's right here, but you see him later in the movie. He might be on the. Oh, I do like how they have to wear the loser hats. That's nice.
Why are there so many people on that team?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great line. If anyone's get the psych out, it should be Denzel.
Right. Is that Tim McCarver? I think that's his name. Raining shit.
How much better would like the news be, and like TV in general or sports, if people just like swear in a hilarious fashion like that?
Yeah, that would definitely make things more palatable.
And again, these scores of beers players streaming out of the locker room.
Yeah, and all this. There's so many people in here. It's so funny. Like like there's so many staff people and everything. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they just said Tom McCarver.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's definitely a another suckers type thing, that visual gag. Oh, here comes the star, fresh from Baywatch, I believe, Yasmin Bleeth. She is nowhere now. Did I lose you again?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think he was like kind of like disturbed by that, but then he was like disappointed. That just like makes no sense.
Yeah.
I was doing a little bit of research for later in the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, some original research that I did. No, I heard that that Parker and Stone had like one of the ways they kind of got to know David Zucker was they pitched him a musical buddy comedy about Aaron and Moses
Oh no!
from the Book of Exodus.
Don't the names Parker and Stone sound like a good team of detectives for like a buddy cop movie?
Yeah, no kidding. Or even like
Get Parker and Stone on this.
or even like a news team, you know. Always trust Parker and Stone.
I like how Reamer's just so obviously lying about everything, and then like, it just works.
Yeah. Oh. What is that guy's name that plays Squeak? Is it he's got a weird name, right?
I thought, yeah, I think so.
It's like Deanne?
Yeah,
Like
it's something like I don't remember.
Deanne
I like
the
how
car?
it might be. I'm not sure. I like how they bring a blind kid to the game in the first place. I mean, no offense, but I mean, is he really getting much out of?
Yeah, no kidding. You're my favorite, Coop. I love the sound you make when you shoot the ball.
I mean, yeah, it's way better on the radio where they describe what's actually happening, but I mean, it's going to be here too in person.
All right.
I like how he's like literally like bequeathing every single item he has.
Yeah.
A poncho.
God, Robert Vaughn was, a pretty big star back in the day. It's, it's interesting to see these serious character actors in, like screwball comedies like this. I told my wife we were going to watch this movie, and she goes, "Oh God." I said, "What?" She goes, "It's horrible." I said, "I love this movie." She goes, "It's so dumb."
Oh, this movie definitely has its charms, though.
Yeah, I love this movie.
Who's Reamer trying to impress at this point with that wreath? And again, it works. Well, maybe not.
Every single thing he owns.
Pretty much. So that doesn't make any sense because free agency, which he's going for, would not increase the owner's profits at all.
No, it would cut into them.
Like Denzel really has it set up perfectly, where like he said, they're like indentured servants.
Yeah, because free agency leads to higher salaries when you have to compete with other owners as to how much you're going to pay people.
I mean, they probably have a salary cap, but it can't be like a super high one. I mean, it doesn't necessarily look like Reamer and Coop are, living high in the.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, when free agency opens, and that exactly happens, Reamer is like wearing like a super like giant gold necklace and all.
Yeah. I mean, I get some of the things like naming rights and stuff like that, things that actually bring revenue in, but yeah, he's off the he's off his rocker here.
Oh yeah, the best 3 months of my life. Oh, I didn't notice that Squeak's actually there in the background, just behind them. The looks on his face for this movie are hilarious.
Yeah. He has to know that this is going out to, everyone. And of course,
The literal, euphemisms.
right. Yep. Laying carpet.
Well, I like this part where he just asks about will leave the room, and just nobody even attempts to.
Yeah, speaking of Costas and Michaels, apparently they gave Bob Costas $50,000 to work for one day on the movie, and Al Michaels found out about it, and they were paying him $15,000.
Oh wow, I'm surprised they pay him less.
And he got so pissed that he threatened legal action, and so they ended up paying him $60,000.
Nice.
So they gave him 10 grand more.
What's funny about this is there's like a running joke throughout this that like Coop has like some kind of venereal type disease.
Mm-hmm.
What's weird is his main business seems to be like sports memorabilia.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, his company said like something about like the best teams here or something like that.
Right.
And he's actually like a big collector. I don't know if that's like his actual line of work or what.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Was that a gold-plated floor buffer? I might have
Yeah, I think
seen
so.
that incorrectly. Oh yeah, I think it might be Miami. I don't know if you know who the comedian Joey Diaz is.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, he's in this for like 2 seconds. I'll point him out when he shows up, but I'm pretty sure he's on the Miami team because he's Cuban and really.
Okay.
Oh, are these? I thought these were the Felons cheerleaders, not the Beers.
I don't know. I don't remember. Al Michaels doing earning that 60 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe they're dressed in black because they're in mourning.
I think you're right actually. And what doesn't make sense either is how does Reamer own all the team? I mean, it's not like he solely invented the concept of basketball by himself.
Right. Ugh.
Oh, I love their spoof of sitcoms here.
Yeah. Latino cut up scooter. Recycled junk and same old crap. The Miami Dealers.
I like how big of a factor the heckling seems to be in the game. Like it's so much that they're since they can't speak English for some reason,
Yeah.
it just doesn't affect them. But like the psychouts are a huge factor.
Yeah. You wouldn't think it would be that big of a deal. I mean, if you think about because I mean that happens in regular sports too. Guys standing in the outfield get heckled all the time. Oh.
Just why would that affect him? Because I mean, he's clearly not drinking Marlon Brando's fat.
Yeah. And who, I wonder what that is that he's actually drinking.
I don't know.
And what are the limits to the psych out?
Yeah, apparently he can physically assault people at certain points of the movie.
Right, because he's just squirting milk into his face.
This makes no sense.
Squeaks. But you would think there'd be you wouldn't be able to make physical contact with people or something.
You'd think there'd be a limit to it,
because otherwise you could just punch him.
But really, at the inception, he did spit water in that guy's face, for the first strikeout ever in the game. So I mean, I guess it's got precedence.
Yeah, that's true.
Because how dare they violate the thing they made up on the spot 5 years ago?
I do think it's funny how rigid they are to those rules that they made.
Yeah. Maybe that's his angle. Just the whole corporate tie-ins will, be the bigger, factor. He doesn't care so much if the players make more.
Yeah, that's possible. I guess in some ways he's not that bad of a guy then, actually. He's like, look, I want to get richer, but all the players will be able to get richer too. Because it's not like he's saying I want corporate sponsorship and still no free agency.
Right. He says how that's every reason they created basketball when it was literally just impress people that didn't like them in the first place.
Right.
Another great line.
Yeah.
Hey, you can tell they're not making a ton of scratch because they're traveling by train.
Yeah, no shit. The New Jersey Informants.
The guy on the right is from something too. I don't remember.
Yeah, I've seen him in a couple movies, I think.
I love their psychouts too.
Mm-hmm. Your mother's a terrible cook. If this had come out just a few years later, it would have been more of the Jersey Shore type stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how the teams were obviously derogatory towards the city they're from.
Yeah.
The Miami Dealers. Just why would they name themselves that? Or even this one, why would you call yourselves the Fairies?
Right. And they're the only ones with male cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Where's Al Michaels now?
Is that guy from Super Troopers? The red hair guy?
Yeah, he is. He plays one of the guys that gets mutilated. And that's over the line. Apparently, slurs. I mean, it's a good line.
Just why? I like how literally no one likes Squeak, male or female. He clearly was not making an Australian joke there. I can't side with him on this one.
What a headline. Beer's still winning more and more games.
Well, with the season as long as they have, you got to have a lot of catchy headlines.
Man, I tell you what, I have never really noticed before how often they go to the cheerleaders in this movie.
Yeah. I think it's like they start like every game at them.
It's so funny because so many of the people they're playing against look pretty like athletic, and everything. They look pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they could have
Like
been.
again,
They could be in something else.
they like negate their advantage. Again with their just shooting.
I guess not this guy though, but
Right.
the funny part about this joke, the visual part about this joke, is it psychs him out so bad, and he's like, and everyone in the audience is like that, but he's just holding it in his hand. So
Yeah, there's no way he couldn't be holding it because they're wearing short sleeves.
yeah, so that guy clearly would have had to have seen that. Women who, I couldn't read that fast enough. Women who run something. This is around the time that Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus book came out.
How do you not recognize his face? He's literally he has the ball that he signed right next to him.
Right. Oh.
What the fuck?
This part is so awesome. Some kind of liver disease. I love this too. Like the fake sincerity of all of this is hilarious. He sells this really well.
And I like how he couldn't care less that like his best friend's like into this woman. He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna try and get her.
Mm-hmm. The Dream Come True Foundation.
As long as this is all a miracle cure.
Oh, his dreams are terrifying.
Just what?
Poisoning a reservoir. He wants to murder a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad he's dying.
Damn.
Was Chelsea Clinton ever considered like
No.
super hot?
Not even regular hot. Again, just shows how fucked up the kid is.
Yeah, no kidding.
What's funny is I don't know. I don't think this is a reference to it because I think it happened before it happened in real life. But at one point, like the what is it actually called? Make a Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
One of the kids wanted, like, one of his wish was to go hunting, and it wasn't like big game hunting. I think it was like an older kid. He would have been like 18 or around then,
Yeah.
And Pierce Brosnan, like a renowned like PETA supporter, that sort of thing. This is by the way, this is a Smash Mouth cover.
Yep.
In case anyone doesn't notice it. They did a lot of covers, but Pierce Brosnan offered. He's like, "Oh, how about instead of that, you come and be a guest on the set of Volcano." Or was it Dante's Peak? Whatever fucking volcano movie he was.
Yeah, I think he was in Dante's Peak.
Yeah, like, that's like, oh hell, Dante's Peak.
Oh my god. I mean, I understand caring about animals and shit, but if you think being on Dante's Peak is a reward.
I like how they're just like at the massage parlor.
And here comes Squeaks.
That's not a word you'd see in a movie these days, Oriental massage parlor.
Right.
Here's a brief bit of a song by one of my favorite bands, Nerf Herder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you introduced me to Nerf Herder, and I fucking love them.
Yeah, they're on like this, and they do the Buffy the Vampire theme soundtrack, obviously, and they're on one other movie as well. I can't remember.
And you do? They do the Buffy the Vampire theme. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's an instrumental, but that's them.
I'll have to tell my wife that because she loves that show, and I've played her some of their songs before. I think the Van Halen one was kind of like the first one that you really got me into because you know how much I love Van Halen. And not Van Hagar, but
I got the kids doing shots. Like he's got a liver disease, but they're letting him do shots.
Shit. I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
actually, I think they reference that in a bit. They're like, "Oh, your numbers are off the charts" or something like that.
So irresponsible.
Finally, Squeak finds love.
Yep. This is another thing that would not be seen in a movie today either, with her having the Adam's apple and everything.
Like he has his liver operation at night.
Right. Yeah, none of it makes much sense.
I think really what we're to expect is all their shenanigans and montage happen over the course of a single day.
Right. Hey, speaking of I don't know, transgendered people. I guess that's the correct word to use. I don't know anymore. If we have any transgender people who are listening, I don't want to offend you. That's not the right word, sorry, I don't know the right word. That's the one I'm using though. But I
don't know the right word, but I know a lot of the wrong ones.
But I mean no offense by it. But did you hear about the thing with Dwight Howard on Twitter?
No.
Oh God. Okay, I don't know if I want to totally get into it, but it does, you kind
of have to now, don't you?
Well, a transgendered woman on Twitter apparently had a relationship with Dwight Howard, and they broke it off, or she broke it off with him when she found out that he was cheating on her with going to these groups to have transgendered orgies, basically. And I guess after that, this is all alleged, by the way, but after that, one of his friends was threatening her, saying, you better sign this non-disclosure agreement and everything, we're gonna fuck you up, kind of stuff like that. And she was afraid for her life, so she put it all out on...
I'm sorry, there he is right there. That's Joey Diaz.
Oh, okay.
And also, I want to point out that this team is actually Detroit's team. They're the Detroit Lemons.
Yeah, I know, that's correct.
Sorry, Dwight Howard.
Right, but she put it all out on Twitter there, and along with evidence of her texting Dwight Howard and her voicemails and different stuff of her talking to Dwight Howard. So there's a lot of evidence out there, but she put it out there as basically if someone hurts me now. That's David Zucker's mom, by the way. The nurse.
Nice.
She's in all of his movies. But anyway, it's a way to kind of protect herself, I guess. If anyone does anything to me, now all this information's out there, But she was going on rants about him. She's he could stop this if he wants to. Tell his guys to back off. And she ends it by saying he's a 6'11" bottom. Yeah. So that.
I heard there is one flaw in all of her texts, though, and Twitter messages. She said all this happened right when he was living up to his pre-draft potential. So I don't know.
But yeah. So people were talking about that a lot yesterday on Twitter. I happened to catch that, and my take on it was I don't care what his sexual preferences are at all. That doesn't bother me. But the threat stuff was the weird and interesting stuff. But yeah, so that's the Dwight Howard story, and kind of dovetails with Squeak and his encounter that he's about to have.
I like how they thought it was going to be close when it's just over the building itself.
Right. He fails so badly.
Another great part is again as a testament to what a shitty person that kid is. That was he already made two home runs, or what do you, is that what they call him in that home?
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, he didn't make the third one, so
Right.
he's
He's a
it's not
fucking
enough.
failure. Yeah, why would he be in a room like that with a bunch of other people if he'd just come out of surgery?
Right?
And why would the morgue be right there next to people? They put the morgues in the basement for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just labeled morgue.
Both to keep them out of sight and because of, possible contaminants and stuff like that.
I thought they just say he'll be fine in the morning.
He just lost consciousness from saying choke so many times.
I like that the material used for his breathing tube is a balloon, apparently.
Right? And that's not a ventilator. That's simply an oxygen mask, so he could still breathe. He just wasn't getting oxygen.
Oh my god! I never noticed how violently that guy flies when he pulls it.
But he's just not getting oxygen. So violent. Oh, that's a timely reference that George Clooney uses.
Yeah.
Back when he was on
ER.
on ER. Yeah. 10,000 volts.
Just what?
They just turn it into a comedy bit. Forget what they're doing. Even with it unplugged, they should have gotten a code that it was that. And by the way, a lot of those things are a lot of those things are you know like screwed in. You know what I mean? So they can't be just simply unplugged like that.
I don't think they ever say what happens to Joey after that. Like, did he actually die? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I don't remember if they ever come back to him at all.
I like how it must be Reamer taped over his video of Reggie Jackson.
With roadkill caught on tape.
This seems like an actual Fox show from like the late '90s.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, for you young kids out there, I think it wasn't until around 93 or 94 that Fox actually finally had enough shows to fill in a complete primetime lineup for all 7 days. There were days that they were just dark when they first started out.
Yeah, but even then they had When Animals Attack was like a staple of. I think that was Fox at least.
Yeah, you're right. But that's what I mean. Like they scrounged to get whatever shows they could just so that they could be on the air for a full day.
Well, that's funny. It's terrorists,
Right. I love how he takes off his basketball uniform as if to say, "Oh, like she knows he's got one."
right? I guess they did say he's fine there.
But we never really come back to him. But he's fine, so good for you, Joey. I wonder what that kid's doing now. A professional podcast would have researched what that kid's name was and what he was up to, but yeah, that's not why you guys listen.
I'm sure it's not much.
I wonder if he did gay porn. That'd be great.
So I don't think Trey Parker's a bad actor. I mean, he's not a great actor by any stretch, but he's definitely serviceable.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
Maybe he did study like drama and stuff at where did he go to Colorado? University of Colorado.
I have no idea, but I would assume so.
Yeah, I almost said Brigham Young or whatever because he's got a definite like obsession with like Mormonism throughout his whole like career, but
Well,
he never was a Mormon or anything like that. As far
yeah. Well, I thought he was when they were kids, but I'm not sure.
I mean, it's possible there's quite a few in Colorado.
Yeah, oh yeah. All those states around Utah. I used to live in Las Vegas, as you know, but the listeners don't. And there's a lot there too, like in Nevada and Utah and Colorado, Montana.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a lot like in Michigan, as far as I know. I mean, I don't think I've ever met a Mormon, though I do see them like riding their bikes across the street sometimes.
Right. Just the Romneys.
Oh yeah, that's true. But they actually like were in Mexico for the longest time.
Yeah, and I think Mitt was born in Utah. Or no, Mitt was born in Detroit, but they lived in Utah for a while too.
I think it might be like his grandfather, Mitt Romney's, that was from. It was really there's a thing on Vice. It was really interesting. Like a lot of Mormons like to circumvent the ban on what do you call it, bigamy, move to like Mexico.
Hmm.
And a lot of them are still there, and like some of the Romneys actually are still there, like relatives and stuff. And like basically now they're like in a war with like the cartels because there's all these kidnappings and stuff where they happen to have like been living for all these years.
Hmm.
So they like basically drive around fully armed with like armored cars and that kind of stuff. It was really interesting.
So that kid that plays Joey, his name is Trevor Einhorn, and apparently he played little Frederick on Frasier,
I didn't really
and then
watch.
and then he was a sex-driven patient of Berg's in Two Guys and a Girl, which was a show I didn't watch either. He was in basketball. Then he was in. He played Henry Walker in Sons and Daughters. For any of the listeners out there that know that show. And then apparently he's been on The Office as Justin Polsnick, a student interested in. Oh, that was the internship at Dunder Mifflin. I don't know if you watched The Office. I love The Office.
I watched a lot of it, but I kind of stopped watching after a few seasons. Like I'm not a big fan of like when Ed Helms was like really prominent on the show. I just kind of stopped watching.
Yeah, it definitely started going downhill, especially after Michael left. But but yeah, like I did the same as you. It was like I watched I think maybe the first like 4 or 5 seasons and I dropped off. But then I went back years later, like I mean maybe even just like a year ago, on Netflix, and I caught up on all of it. There's some good sight gags here with the sports equipment with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's goggles and stuff like that, and there's actual Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I feel just like so off put by him being there. That's not actually Siegfried and Roy, I don't believe, is it?
Wow, I don't know. I don't think so. I've never seen their show. I'd have to look, but I don't think so. But anyway, so I guess this guy was on the 6th and 7th season of Mad Men as well, and
Wait,
now he's on Sci-Fi's The Magicians. So he's
well, good for him.
Still working.
This is a part that I always use as a reference when like Reamer's is so dense he doesn't understand exactly what he's talking about.
Oh.
I know he's not bothered about being underappreciated. But he's like, yeah, we are underpaid, so he clearly doesn't think he's underappreciated.
Right. Yeah, as far as I can tell, that's not the real Siegfried and Roy. Rest in peace, either Siegfried or Roy. I can't remember which one was
Did Roy
mauled.
die?
One of them was mauled to death.
I don't think he was mauled to death. I think he suffered a stroke, and as far as I know, he's still alive.
I think one of them's dead.
Well, it's probably that one then.
The one that had the stroke, probably. Yeah.
The best part about that is, well, not the best part, but the weirdest part about that is the other one claims that the tiger sensed that he was about to have a stroke, so he tried to protect him, and that's what ended up being the mauling.
He tried to protect him by clawing his face open so that yeah, because the because the tiger understood that the stroke would cause intracranial pressure with the blood
Yeah,
vessel bursting. So he wanted to create a burr hole so that the pressure could be
yeah,
relieved.
that's.
Makes
I don't think that makes a lot of sense to me, but I'm not a professional magician, so what do I know about medicine?
Oh my god. Oh, you're right, they are still both alive. Oh, I love it. Just shit. I thought one of them died. I could have sworn. Nope, 179. Siegfried 79. He actually, that's his real name. And the other guy's real name is Uwe. Uwe Ludwig Horn.
Oh, oh,
And
yeah, I
he,
knew his name. I knew the last name was Horn, but I thought it was Roy.
yeah, he's from, they're both from Germany, obviously. But yeah, they are both still alive. Okay, well, not rest in peace then. I mean, rest in peace when it happens. I don't hate you, Siegfried and Roy. But I mean, I'm not a fan, but I don't hate you either. But
Right.
yeah, rest in peace when it happens. They were in the film,
Free rest in peace.
right? It's a PRIP. But they were in Ocean's 11 and Vegas Vacation. So
Oh, were they?
yeah, apparently it's not out of the question that they could have been in the movie.
Just how are there people who are retired already from baseball?
Seriously, like yeah, we saw this was 5 years later. This is well, now six probably because it's a new season, but 6 years after they started this in their
Only five jockstraps retired.
right, like guys that played for 1 year set a bunch of records because no one had records before them and then retired.
Right. Let's say the whole part where they're like communicating by using the one word "dude." Like I know you haven't watched The Wire. There's a hilarious scene in that where like two detectives are investigating like the scene of like a crime that happened a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
The only word they use in the entire scene is "fuck," but it's just perfectly it perfectly communicates what they're thinking, and you can tell that what they're trying to say to each other. It's hilarious.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to start watching that. That's something you don't really see people selling posters in stadiums.
Right. I
Not
just
not
I
like
just noticed
that.
that the song is called "Psyched Out," so it's clearly written for.
Yeah. Psych out with me, oh yeah. I can't sing it any more than that or we'll get sued.
What?
Real Big Fish is definitely looking for money.
I'm gonna get a Detroit Lemons jersey. I looked at it before. They had them on like eBay.
Oh, really? That's awesome. The Detroit Lemons.
Yeah, because I didn't know what the team was actually called. That's what I was looking at mostly. And then it not only gave me the name, but the option to buy the jersey. Oh, it says in the back. I could have just looked at that.
It's funny, the they don't there's no real stereotype that they do for Detroit. I appreciate that. So many people rip on Detroit and we hate it when they do. But yeah, there's no real stereotype for Detroit in this movie.
Again, I guess that's not allowed because they pull him away when he whacks him with that giant board.
Right.
Maybe that's the limit.
Yeah.
Well, I can't. Oh, that's the informant. Is that what this says? Informants on that team, or is it Indianapolis?
No, that's informants. Yeah, those are the New Jersey informants again. Have you ever seen that movie, The Horse Whisperer?
No.
Yeah, I haven't either. But I
Next week on Massive Late Fees audio commentary, The Horse Whisperer.
yeah, I don't think we'll ever be doing The Horse Whisperer. Yeah, it's funny that they didn't do a Colorado team. Since like we said, I mean they didn't have the biggest hand in writing it either. I wonder if the Zuckers are from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't know.
Luckily, Nowadays, you don't have to know anything. You can just have your phone in your hand like I do.
Right.
And we'll see. Yep, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Nice.
So that makes sense.
Again, let's start with the cheerleaders.
Yeah. These are my favorite cheerleaders, I think.
Was it Vegas?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh no, LA riots.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is. I think this. I could be entirely wrong on this. I think this guy's name is Emmanuel Yarbrough. No, wait. That may not be right.
What's he from?
You saw that?
Gotta get him, Squeaks. I love the stance, like the tennis type stance that they do too. This also implies that they knew that his mom was dead.
Yeah. Yeah, Dion Bakar is Squeak Scolari.
All right, nice. Yeah, there's a lot of little cameos in here.
Well, did you know that Kato Kalin was the driveway announcer?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier in this
Oh,
commentary.
I didn't hear.
Nice to know that you're right on top of things, paying attention.
That might have been the part that was,
This is why the podcast is so popular, guys. No, it was. Yeah, it was during that part. You're right.
Oh, actually, I was
I'm still going to make fun of you for it, dickhead.
Yeah. I want to make actually. This was my second guess. I thought that guy was the guy from Necessary Roughness. You've seen Necessary Roughness?
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone has.
Right, because Scott Bakula.
The big giant Samoan guy. Mm-hmm. That's him.
Okay, yep, that makes sense.
Do you think Scott Bakula was playing an original character, or he just leaped into that person and he had to win the title to set things straight?
I think he definitely leaped. I think with every character he plays, it's just a leap into their body. That's why he's such a good actor. Oh, look at this fucking wormy guy from out of nowhere. Why is that an ad in a Men's Health magazine?
You're right.
That's really not your core audience.
Why do you have to bring a magazine to explain what a men's clothing line is?
Yeah, seriously. He could have just used his words.
Yeah, that would be more than enough.
Security is all over the place escorting these people out, but they don't care about Squeak getting the shit beat out of him.
Well, again, there was a precedent established for that.
Yeah, no one cares or even notices him.
Women's.
He's so pissed.
Just why even show up at the press conference if you're just going to cross your arms?
Yeah, I don't know.
Every month, the Scatman gets a 10-cent check from this movie.
Right. Total Woman. in the early days of Sports Center when Kenny,
Dan Patrick, I'm pretty sure that's Russ Peterman.
right? Yeah.
Oh, this is great. The convoluted playoff structure.
Maybe we should try to do that. We'll do every movie that Dan Patrick's ever been in.
I think we're done.
Oh, let me see. I'm gonna look up his filmography while we're watching this movie attentively, just like all of you.
I imagine it's a lot of sports movies.
Oh, by the way, in case you guys haven't figured it out, press start when we start talking. Go back about an hour if you're like, hey, why is it out of sync? They haven't told me to press play yet. Yeah, as soon as we start talking, that's when you press play.
And we might even possibly be out of sync by a second or two. I don't really know, but
yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Bandcamp also does kind of sometimes has a tendency to not sync things as well as it could, but that's not our fault. That's Bandcamp, so send the letters to them.
Yeah, Bandcamp, P.O. Box.
I don't give a shit at 401.com.
Do you think that Al Michaels was upset that he wasn't getting paid as much, or that he was getting paid less than Costas? Do you think it was personal, like I'm better than Bob Costas, or just like the principle?
I think it was the principle of him not getting paid as much since they were basically doing the same job. Like he clearly agreed to do it for $15,000, so I don't think he was like, "Hey, this isn't enough money." I think it was just the principle, like, you're paying Bob Costas like that much more than me. Seriously, that's not what you fucking think of me.
Right. I mean, because he's probably been around a lot longer than Bob Costas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they actually references Big Swish or Super Swish thing right there.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the list of things that Bob Costas has been in.
Dan Patrick, I thought.
Or Dan Patrick, yeah. Definitely Maybe. An episode of Arliss. I don't know if you ever watched Arliss with...
Every single one.
Did you really?
No, I hate that show.
Oh, okay. Basketball, The Waterboy, Clerks, the animated series. I remember when he...
Oh, yeah, I'll watch that.
Yep. Clone High, The Longest Yard, Benchwarmers, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, The House Bunny, Grown Ups, Blue Mountain State. I think that's some shit on...
Oh, wait. Yeah. I'm sorry. Right here. A bit of trivia. That's Victoria Silverstedt.
Yeah, Silverstedt, yeah.
You know who her roommate was back when she was young?
No.
Melania Trump.
Really?
Yeah, because when they were talking about it at some point, they said her roommate Victoria Silverstedt. I'm like, Victoria Silverstedt, Playmate of the Year,
right? That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't even. I like the only reason I knew who she was is because of this movie. But yeah, Blue Mountain State, Just Go With It, Jack and Jill. That's My Boy, Grown Ups 2, Blended, The Ridiculous Six, The Do-Over, and The Week Of. So
he's an Adam Sandler player.
Yeah, basically at some point, just every Adam Sandler movie.
Did you see The Do-Over?
No.
It's actually not that bad.
Really? You are a bigger Adam Sandler fan than I ever would have thought.
No, really not. It's that, and I like That's My Boy for some reason. I think it's entertaining. I don't think it's a great movie, but it's entertaining. And that's about the only ones I regularly watch.
Well, I'm not trying to shame you. Although, listeners, he is a fucking moron for liking those movies. No, I'm just joking.
I heard that Adam Sandler has a stand-up out now on Netflix.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And according to Adam Sandler, it's great.
That's what I will probably watch it at some point, but that's one I haven't caught either yet.
He said it was beloved by Bono, so if Bono's into it, it's almost 100% guaranteed that I'll like it.
Oh yeah.
Because I love shitty Irish rock bands from the fucking 80s.
Right. The best thing about Bono anyone's ever said is these two guys, the South Park guys, on their show South Park, about how we don't understand how Bono can do so many good things but still be a douche, and that's the reason is he was an actual shit.
Yeah. So for an actual shit, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I love how upset, like just how frustrated he gets with how stupid these guys are.
Yeah, like especially Reamer just like destroys his brain. I like the uncomfortably long look at their crotches as he walks away.
Mm-hmm. I think that was probably their idea
Oh yeah, for
to appear naked.
That's why. Just why would they believe it? Also, I forgot to mention the guy who was from Necessary Roughness in this. He's a Tui Asasopa,
Oh yeah,
which apparently, like among Samoans, is like Smith for the last name. Like, there's like so many like professional athletes with that last name.
yeah.
Professional athletes and fictitious girlfriends.
Yep, I remember that story. Squeak just sleeps in a drawer.
He was all tuckered out from the big game.
Right.
Do you think after this movie, Victoria Silvstedt came back bragging like, "Guess what, Melania? I'm in a big film called Basketball. This is going to change everything."
I don't know.
I love this. The overly on the nose song playing.
Yep. Yeah, and this is something that other movies have done since this movie, but I think this was like the first one where it really, where like it was really like this, like this out there, and
See that this is, oddly enough, this seems like it would be a Zucker type thing,
oh, I
but
think
it's actually being sang by Parker or Stone, one of the
it's
Trey Parker,
Trey Parker,
I think.
yeah, it's the one that's in the car. I'm pretty sure that's Trey Parker.
Yeah, that's Trey Parker.
Yeah, he's singing it. I totally see this as like something of theirs that they would do.
I like how he's just acknowledging how like bizarre it is.
Right? Watch out ahead, there's a truck chasing lanes.
Warts on your dick again. An issue he has.
Right. Yeah, that's
and
true.
what kind of warts go away with topical cream? I mean, come on.
I don't know, but that's true. They do foreshadow that.
You know as well as I do that topical cream is not clearing those warts up.
Yeah, we do. We did have that misadventure in Tijuana.
I wonder if they actually flew to India for this brief part.
Oh, I highly doubt it.
I don't know. It says Calcutta Airport.
That's true.
You legally can't make that up.
And
it might be cheaper to fly to India and film locally there than to just build a set for all this.
That's true. It might be. I don't know what kind of discounts they give, but so terrible. The worst part about this is the honesty of it.
That's an understatement too. Oh, this isn't good. Oh, here's Robert Stack's big cameo.
Yeah, if you look really closely, you can see most of these people are playing solitaire on their computers.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
It was just like, and they filmed this at the in the Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mystery.
Live.
Yeah, it looks just like the set.
Yep.
I'm surprised they didn't try to relaunch that, or maybe they did at one point.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Robert Stack still alive? I mean, obviously he wouldn't be on it now. But...
No, he's dead in the ground.
But he wasn't gotten by the the Hollywood hangers or whatever.
The Hollywood
So,
hangman.
yeah, so he's not hanging
But
by
this
his
guy
neck
might
in
have
his
been.
fucking closet.
Even though he's clearly smoking while he's reenacting it.
Right.
And how can you reenact this an off-the-cuff comment by someone who's angry with him? Really, this whole episode of Unsolved Mysteries makes no sense unless you've been watching the exact movie we're watching.
Right. Oh God, yeah. Robert Stack died 15 years ago
Tonight.
at 84. Well, rest in peace, Robert Stack. Right next to Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah. They're buried next to each other, I think.
Man, they're not in the movie a ton, obviously.
One day.
But they got a lot done in one day. It makes sense though to do it that way.
I like that there's 100 million people watching it, and they're mostly just fascinated by the flickering images.
Right?
You know that Sergio is a close personal friend of Siegfried and Roy?
He's got that fireworks display ready. I still can't get over that story about the tiger performing delicate surgery on Roy.
It knew.
Because he knew a stroke was coming.
Tigers are known for being nurturers in nature.
That's true.
Nature's nurturers is what they call them.
And they know they're known for their detailed knowledge of human anatomy.
They said that he roared the word intubate right before he struck him. He growled, "Give him a baby aspirin." If Roy is listening to this, we apologize.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
I don't think there's any chance of that, but yeah.
If Siegfried or Roy's wives or children happen to be listening to this, we apologize.
But congratulations on not being dead like I thought you might be. Oh. Well, I guess we do get to see him again. Little Joey. It's the Denslow Cup.
Do they all live at one place? That's odd.
It is weird. Yeah, I think they're orphans.
Oh yeah, you're maybe right. I like how on every channel is Unsolved Mysteries.
Right.
That's airing at the exact same time as the Denzel Cup.
Yeah, that's bad programming because you're going to lose out big time to the Denslow Cup. You're not getting ratings with that.
But they did tie it into the Denzel Cup, so that was pretty smart on their part.
Yeah.
That's so specific.
Yeah, they worked with Robert Stack before, actually, the Zuckers. He was in Airplane, I believe.
Oh, was he?
I know he was at least in Airplane too, but yeah, he was in Airplane. He was.
If there's any airplane movie you want to be in, it's Airplane 2.
The one with William Shatner. Ugh.
See, I know him mostly from Unsolved Mysteries, and I know he was in The Untouchables, like the original, not the Kevin Costner joint.
Right. Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies, like way back when, but. Oh God. What an interesting ritual here.
Right. Shitting curry.
Sounds like he really did go to India.
See? What? He said Polynesian, but then Caribbean. Does that make any sense?
No.
Polynesians are like Hawaii and around there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's right.
Because quite frankly, this reenactment here didn't teach me much about their culture at all.
They're separated by an entire continent.
Yeah, it's just one continent though, or I guess two.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, South America as well.
I like how Squeak of all people like really wants them to be friends, even though he's Reamer's new best friend.
They give Squeak the emotional underpinning of the entire movie.
Could you imagine Tom Brady participating in a Polynesian Caribbean ceremony at halftime? And if there's 100 million people watching this, why are the people who are in the game in the halftime show?
Yeah, that is weird. Oh, yeah, this whole the logic of this whole sport falls apart. You gave me a chance. Forgot your friendship. You know, here's the thing though. They've already agreed to all this merchandising stuff and shit. That's a genie that's going to be like impossible to put back in the bottle though.
Pretty much.
I mean,
but I think it was actually for the one instance for the charity, and then Coop actually just cleaned that all up, so maybe it isn't out of the bottle.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should be paying more attention to this movie that we're watching.
I've seen this movie a lot of times.
Why is this so dangerous? Like, why is there a thing of fire? It's terrible.
Right by I think I put the fireworks right by them.
Yeah. And they're in an enclosed stadium.
Yeah, they're in an indoor
stadium.
I just going to say that. Just what did Jenny McCarthy's character have for him at all? I mean, he was offering her nothing. She was the one who was going to win it.
Yeah, it makes no sense really. And
yeah, it's not like she was going to try and lose if because she wanted to win regardless, and he was going to try and win because he wanted somebody else who was more greedy to have control of the team.
Yeah, it's sort of implied that she was kind of a gold digger or whatever, but it's never really outright stated. And then the way that...
Oh no, her and Denzel were in it for true love.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I would get with Ernest Borgnine if he asked.
Good luck getting vaccines for your kids.
Rest in peace, Ernest Borgnine. Oh, is he one of those that doesn't believe in vaccines?
No, Jenny McCarthy.
Oh yeah. No, I wasn't. No, I was talking about Ernest Borgnine.
Oh well, yeah.
He
was an airwolf. I mean, enough said.
I wouldn't get with Jenny McCarthy, fucker. I'm gonna say rest in peace, Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, he's dead.
That's a guess, but he's got to be, right?
A good guess. Oh, that guy on the left, or the guy on the right, the shorter of the two little people, he's in so much stuff.
Yep.
He's in Dirty Work, actually. He's the one who hires them to get revenge on the bearded.
That's right. I love that.
Oh, that'd be a good movie to do one of these on, Dirty Work.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we both love that movie. And obviously Norm.
Let's see if we get Norm to sit in.
Right.
If not, then the lady who plays Mildred. It's Kathy, I think, actually. What's she up to?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I've thought about a couple times direct messaging Norm Macdonald since since he follows us on Twitter.
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
And we follow him. And just ask him, hey, do you want to come and guest on the podcast, call in and guest on the podcast for an hour or half an hour or whatever. But every time I do, I think I don't want to bother him, and then he ends up unfollowing us. Hey, fuck these guys, they're bothering me, kind of thing.
I don't know. He comes to the Royal Oak Music Theater quite a bit for stand up. Maybe we could ask him if we could do a quick 5-10 minute interview.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
and then we befriend him, and he's our friend for real.
God, that'd be so awesome. Norm. Okay, her name is Taylor Howard.
The Cartman impression.
She was also on Two Guys and a Girl.
Oh my god. This is like a fucking feeding, or was Two Guys and a Girl before that?
I think Two Guys and a Girl was after. Yeah, I think it was after this.
Yeah, so the people who did that really like not Beer League, sorry. That's Artie Lang from Dirty Work movie. Right. They really liked what's this called? Basketball.
Yep.
I watched Beer Fest yesterday. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's a Broken Lizard movie.
Yep, I've seen it.
Yeah, so that's why I have that on my mind.
I like that movie.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
That's a great line too. Or he misses. She was in Me, Myself, and Irene. I remember her from that.
Who is she in that?
I think she was the main person.
No, wasn't that Renee?
No, that was Renee. That was Renee Zellweger, right? No,
the lady with a small, not Renee Zellweger, the one with a little. Maybe that was Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, that's who was in it. Yep.
Who's the one from Legally Blonde?
Oh, Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, okay, that's who I confused. But yeah, it's Renee Zellweger.
But yeah, I don't remember what she plays in that. But
the little cameo from Dale Earnhardt, who's picking up extra cash by being a taxi driver.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dale Earnhardt.
He is dead. Yes.
Yep, I that one I remembered. But the last movie she did was 2005's Son of the Mask.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we can get her.
Right. But she's been on TV. She was in Lois and Clark, that Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place thing. Wednesdays at 8 on ABC.
Nice. Son of the Mask, the TV series.
Right. She was on Monk. I remember that. She was
Was she the main lady on Monk?
Yeah, she was like his
okay. She's got Monk money. She won't do our fucking show.
She's got Monk money. She won the Gracie Allen Award for outstanding
supporting. Monk was on for like 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, she's got a ton of cash from Monk.
And in 2010, she did a pilot called Nolan Knows Best, and that's it. So she has not worked since 2010.
Yeah, but how long was Monk on for? Like 10 years?
4 years.
4 years?
Well, she was on it for 4 years. I think they replaced her at one point.
Oh, well, that's because she had Monk money. She didn't need to be on the show anymore.
She was just like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, she got in her Maserati and tore off.
She is 52 years old.
I'd say 52 years young myself.
How could she be 52?
I mean, Dirty Work was, 98-ish, so it's like 20 years. That's about right.
God, this picture is from 2005, the last time anyone saw her in public. But she looks, she looks good. Although I guess that is 13 years ago now, so.
Right. I was, I don't know if you noticed, but when they had the outside the marquee, it said Denzel Cup 5, which makes no sense.
Right.
Well, I mean, they say the felons won it the last 3 years. So, I mean, assuming that they've had a cup every year, I guess this could be the fifth one.
Yeah. Still makes no sense why anyone's retired, but. Oh, yeah, they're about to win the game. Spoilers.
Would it be great if they did a Bad News Bear type inning?
Right, where they don't win.
Oh, I actually didn't see the last 5 minutes of that.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know if they did a remake with Billy Bob Thornton, and you know how much I hate remakes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a big Billy Bob Thornton fan, and I actually happened to catch it on normal TV. It was actually pretty good. I mean, it's hard to replace Walter Matthau, but he did a really good job.
Yeah, I think both are pretty good. That was in that whole Bad Santa era where he had that clear character that he was playing.
Yeah, he did a few movies the same, Mr. Woodcock, I think, was the one with John Heder.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of not being in a movie since 2005.
Right. Oh, yeah, when are they rebooting that movie? Napoleon Dynamite.
I think they were going to do an animated series at some point, but it was shortly after, and that didn't really work out.
See, I think that's why they paid him $35,000 more because he had the line "Feel these nipples."
I thought has him on the in TV display, and he has no idea where he is. Remember back when they had picture in picture, and that was a big thing.
Yeah, that's the Mile High Salute. The Denver Broncos did that, obviously being from Colorado. That's their team. And they get the big Hollywood ending.
Reamer's devastated. I like the perspective they use whenever they shoot Squeak and Dwight Howard. I'm sorry, I forget her name.
These two are both pretty dumb, so I guess it makes sense that they get together.
Yeah, it does make sense. There's just no hesitation. They're just like open face, like making out.
And then the Reggie Jackson cameo.
I like how in his heyday he wore glasses, but now, like years later, he doesn't need glasses.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if he got LASIK or why. I don't know, but yeah, they paid him $3 million in 1977 and that because that was like the first big free agent bonanza. That's funny because it does kind of tie into this. But I wonder how he feels about the script, because if it wasn't for that free agency, he would never have gotten that money. Not in Oakland.
Imagine back then, $3 million is a ton of money.
Oh, shit.
Not that it's not now, but
yeah, back then it was like the biggest sports contract ever. Some wretched little shit stole the third one. I love that line. Can you imagine being like a respected actor like Robert Vaughn and just let's spray milk in my face to end this film?
You know what? I just looked up on the inflation calculator. You know how much $3 million back in 1977 would be in 2017.
Let me see if I can guess.
Sure.
I'm gonna say, or what about 85 million?
Oh no, way less than that.
Okay.
You want to guess again?
Sure. 25.
No, it's $12 million, which is obviously again a lot. But I mean, if you consider like athletes nowadays, $12 million, you probably get like a pretty shitty player.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, well, yeah, because it was over 3 years. Oh, well, that is the movie, ladies and gentlemen. Basketball, blast from the past. This was high school for us. I mean, this came out during our later high school days. But yeah, that's definitely an enjoyable one. I like the movie a lot. I think that stupid kind of comedy can be fun. I like smart comedy. Like one of my favorite movies is Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, which is that sly, kind of sarcastic type humor, and that definitely can be fun and satisfying. But I think there's something to be said for a good stupid movie.
The most recent Ghostbusters, I saw that like at HBO. It was on one day. It wasn't bad.
Oh God, I hate it.
Really, I'm not a huge. I mean, I'm not like an obsessive fan of the original, so maybe that's why I wasn't like too appalled by it. But it wasn't.
I just don't think it's funny. But
it's not unfunny. It's not like but I didn't find the original to be like I wasn't like laughing out loud funny at the original.
I like finding something we can disagree on, though, because I think that makes for a more interesting conversation.
Of course, in the original, Ron Jeremy has a brief cameo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they should.
The original's shockingly like inappropriate. Isn't it rated PG?
I think so. Yeah, I know they like obviously it was marketed towards kids a little bit and stuff too back then.
Yeah, I was watching it with my oldest daughter. She's 10, and like there's a part where like Danny is that his name?
You're talking about
Fuck, what's his, no, not Danny. Dan Aykroyd.
yeah, you're talking about Dan
He's
Aykroyd?
laying in bed. He's laying in bed. He's getting like jerked off by a ghost. I'm like, yeah, I need to change the channel right now. I don't want to explain that.
A blowjob, yeah. There's that whole part is from a part out of the script that was cut because Dan Aykroyd wrote the script, wrote the original draft for the script, and apparently it was just like 1,000 pages long, completely unfilmable, filled with just like crazy ideas. And they went through it and took out enough of a narrative to actually make a movie, but it was from like this cutout part where that Dan Aykroyd claims is based on reality, where he and his friend or whatever stayed in a some fort or whatever at night, and apparently the jacket, if you notice in that scene, he's wearing some like military jacket. The ghost will only appear if you're wearing that jacket, and it gives you a blowjob, and that's the only function of the ghost at all.
I think that if you were a ghost and your only ability was to give Dan Aykroyd a blowjob, you'd be pretty fucking upset. Like, bust me.
Oh God, yeah, but he
That
he busted on
Dan
that
Aykroyd has web toes.
He has web toes. I didn't know.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know if you've ever seen the Crystal Skull vodka.
Yes, I have.
That's his company.
I heard that. I heard that's pretty good, actually.
I think all vodka is the same, essentially.
Have you had it?
No, a girl I used to work with, though, bought it just because she wanted a bottle.
I think one time we should get it and try it on the podcast. We'll just drink Crystal Head vodka while we could do it. Wait, we should do it. If we should do an audio commentary for Ghostbusters and drink the Crystal Head vodka while we do it.
Yeah, it's like it's $100 bottle of vodka.
I'll pay for it. I don't care.
And the only thing you're paying for is that stupid bottle.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And Dan Aykroyd's ego.
I don't care. I think we should do it.
I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I've never once laughed at anything Dan Aykroyd has done.
I mean, he's just okay in Ghostbusters. He's obviously not the biggest part of that movie. I'm trying to think of other movies he's been in. Because
he's in Grosse Pointe Blake.
Yeah.
My Girl 2.
Yeah, he's not really supposed to be funny in those movies. I don't think anyway. He's not funny in those movies.
I don't know, when he gives that speech at Macaulay Culkin's funeral, it's hilarious. I don't know if he's at the funeral, if that's even in the movie.
I wasn't a big fan of his on Saturday Night Live, obviously. But I mean, part of that is that in that mid to late 70s, SNL is really not for us, and I don't.
Yeah, it's not great.
I mean, at the time it was. Yeah, exactly.
At the time, it was probably very subversive, but now it's like, okay, wow, you're in a bee costume. That's fucking hilarious.
It's very much a product of its time, humor-wise, and it's hard for any generation that wasn't like a teenager or in their early 20s during that time period to really see why it was funny at all. But yeah, like completely, I like. Intellectually, I understand that it was, that it's supposed to be funny for its time period, but I don't find it funny. So,
humor does not age well, apparently.
No, I mean, there's some, like, it has to be very, like almost specifically crafted to last. But, I can't think of anything that I've found him funny in. I mean, there's that movie Nothing But Trouble. Have you ever seen that?
Nothing But Trouble? Who's in it?
It's Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Chevy Chase, and Demi Moore.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh my god, it's one of the weirdest fucking, like, just horrible but also awful, like, just weird movies I've ever seen in my life. And Tupac has his film debut in the movie.
Tupac Shakur?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about Tupac Smith for a second. I'd never even heard of this movie.
Oh yeah, we should watch it sometime. It's I can't even describe it. It's completely fucked up.
like Dan Aykroyd's toes.
All right,
I'd like to
everybody.
apologize to all the web-toed people out there.
But no, you know what? I won't apologize to web if you have web toes out there, fix your fucking toes. There's surgeries now. No offense to the web toed, but
I'm sorry, real quick. Have you ever seen the movie She's Out of My League?
yes.
Yeah, web toes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good movie, but yeah, I'm sorry. We're trying to wrap this up, and I keep going on about fucking Dan Aykroyd.
It's okay. I started us on this. But yeah, so that's the movie, everybody. I'm sure you're now just listening to this while there's a black screen in front of you, which is representative of the eternal blackness that we are all hurtling towards. So
Sweet dreams, everyone.
have fun with that. No, but if you want to find us, we're at Massive Late Fee on Twitter, Massive Late Fee. Just search it, Facebook, Bandcamp, Patreon. We're on all that. If you want to send us, some mail, you have a question, you want something that, want to suggest something, you can do that at massivelatefee@gmail.com, or you can send us a tweet on Twitter and just use the hashtag MassiveLateFee. So that is it for us. We will see you on Tuesday for another episode. Unless you're watching.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, unless you're listening to this in the future. In which case, we'll probably still have an episode coming out on some Tuesday in 2041.
Well, the recorded Tuesdays you hear them on Wednesday or even Thursday if you're not a fucking Patreon supporter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Sorry, yes. We record on Tuesday. I'll see Mike again on Tuesday. We'll see you on Thursday and Patreon on Wednesday. Thank you to our patrons, Leah and Miranda. We love you. And we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Later.